guys, have I got one for you today. So Billy at Preacher's Creatures has reached out to us and sent us a little package, and so we're going to open it up and see what he sent us. Stay tuned. So what we have here is a delivery from Preacher's Creatures. Never watched Preacher's Creatures? I'll have a link in the video description. But Billy is a preacher. Used to be a former teacher. He's a preacher, and he also makes soft plastic lures he calls his creatures. And so he sent us some. Oh wow. Good grief, Billy. You did a fantastic job, son. Alrighty. Oh, neat. Those are some neat stuff. So this is, let's go through everything, and we'll talk about what happened. Well, let's talk about what happened first. So everything got started off from this goldfish here and this right here. So I told Billy that no one does goldfish soft plastics that I know of for crappie fishing. And goldfish in Florida, they're legal, but elsewhere in the United States, when they do goldfish, they catch fish like crazy. So I thought some goldfish, and we have a thing called new penny, which is a colored bait that's used to catch redfish, and it does real well. And so he did a video of this goldfish here, and it's got two sides to it. Here, see if I can get this out where you can see it. So this right here is the crappie slayer. I think it's called crappie slayer, and it is it's done two different colors. So new penny would be kind of like this. This right here is what he calls goldfish, and I was just thinking this would be a fantastic color to put on some crappie. We don't have a lot of crappie here. We have a very small amount of crappie, or what we call speckled perch, but I thought that would be fantastic. So he did a video based off of that suggestion, which I was like, okay, cool. And so he did a video off of that, and then I also told him about this, and this is actually the color I was telling him about, passion shad. And so he did some more in passion shad here. So the idea was to take you can't call these flukes, alright? So fluke is trademarked, alright? Fluke is trademarked. So if you're selling these, you can't call this a fluke. That's what it is, but you can't call it a fluke. You can call it jerk bait, but you can't call it a fluke. Anyway, so what I told him to do was to do a lavender belly and a purple top. And so these are a little bit more along the lines of what I was talking about with the purple. You can see there's a little bit more difference there. He did, that's a little bit darker purple there. He was trying to play around with the color pattern. Lighter color in there, but this roughly this color maybe a little bit darker purple on top. And so this right here they call the tracer shad. It's just a little crappie bait, speckled perch bait. And this right here, the reason why I wanted passion shad. We're getting into the time now that the striped bass will be coming up into streams, and they hit silver, they hit gray, they hit blue, and they hit purple. And I wanted something other that I could use to attract the striped bass, and normally they're on top because striped bass spawn on top of the water. They don't do like a regular bass does. They're not in the same family, so they don't build beds, they just spawn on top of the water. And so I wanted a fluke style bait to twitch and look like a minnow so that a striped bass come up and hit it, and this be the perfect color for that. So the idea is based off of sexy shad. There's all these different shad colors. Most of them are not that inventive. You take a Tennessee shad, you put some blue or purple sparkle in there, and now you got electric shad. You take something kind of a silverish bottom with blue on top, you got sexy shad. So I came up with passion shad. But he sent me these, so got 1, 2, 3 styles of fluke baits. All of them are 5-inch. Alright, they come 6 to a pack. Alright, so got those. This right here, the belly is right. That's a little bit lighter, but almost perfect. Alright, so then dark top needs to be just a little bit lighter. A little bit of pearl or something other in there would have made that light enough, because lavender is kind of like cross between pink and purple. It's kind of like on that verge, and so if you have that with that dark grape top, that is perfect. But again, this was just an idea that I had. So this is his first run, his first go at of it, and I like that belly right there. I would say that's perfect, or near perfect. And then the back just needed to be more darker, but this right here is sexy. So anyway, get 10 of these per pack, and these are the 2.5-inch tracers. This is second run, this first run, second run, and then first run, third run. Okay, I'll show third run in a second. So we got those. Third runs. Now, again, a little bit more grape on top, and that would have been near perfect. But still, the color, the sparkle, everything, these are actually sparklier. This right here, I would call that disco shad. It's got reds, it's got blues, it's got golds, it's got silvers, it's got everything in the world in it, and it's just going nuts. But it this is the 2-inch crappie crusher. The other one was, so you can see the difference. I'll take them out so you can see difference in them. So this is the crappie crusher. That's 2-inch. And then these are called tracer shads. They're 2.5-inch. That's the difference in the two. On this one, he did 20, he said, of these. So the other two, no, sorry, he did 10 here, 20 here, then 20 here, and 10 here, and then 20 of the crappie crusher, which means I've got me another. So I've got 20 in here, and then he did third run tracer shad. So I wonder, alright, so on the second run he did some crappie crushers there. Let's see what happened. Crappie crusher, He's doing crappie crushers on the 20 runs, and then on the 10 runs he's doing tracer shads. I had to see what he was doing. So I've got third runs, so basically when they have remelts or playing with colors. Again, this is a color pattern I came up with, and so he was trying to mimic what I was talking about. And that's a problem. As an artist, when somebody tells me I want this or I want that, you know, I told him I wanted pink and lavender, or not pink and lavender, purple and lavender. Well, what's purple? For me, purple is Concord Great Color Purple. That is what's on the color wheel. That is what is generally described as purple. But for most people that aren't artists, what's purple? And technically, that's a purple, but it's just a different purple. And then I wanted lavender, which again, to me, that right there is closer to lavender than this. Really, it's a cross between, this is the closest to lavender he got right there. So, but you know, again, there's different shades of lavender. So what lavender are you talking about? So he did a very good job. I am not, please don't take any comments I've said to be that I'm saying he didn't do a great job. He did a fantastic job. And he's using quality molds. This is something that we don't have hellgrammites in my area of Florida. And we really don't have caddisflies I know of in my area of Florida. But I think these little jokers would do fine. And he did, it is two different colors. So he did the bottom and he did the top. There's 12 of them. They're 2.2 inches in what he calls passion shad, my color combo. I'd be interested to see if a bluegill or something like that would hit it in the creeks. We don't have caddisflies that I know of, and we don't have hellgrammites that I know of in my area of Florida. Not saying Florida in general doesn't. I'm just saying in my area we don't. Now let's see what we got here. We got all kind of goodies here. And this is just a sample pack that he sent. These are just different ones that he's done. I really like this one. This is a neat little crappie bait. So it's hard to pick up on camera. But if you follow this, it's got a very triangular shape. And then it has that little swoop belly with a square head. But the tail, what I like about it, there's a little divot in each side, little cutout right there to make that tail. And that tail is not like a beaver tail or something. No, it's just basically very, very tapered right there. But other than that, it's pretty much just a string of plastic moving about. That ought to catch some fish right there. Paddle tails, way that I like to do a paddle tail, I like to look at the paddle. Does it fall? How far does it fall over? This got some pretty good action there. That's good. We don't use a lot of these here. That's kind of neat though. For little baits, that's perfect. Like a little beetle spin or something, that'd be perfect. I love this color combo. Blue and chartreuse. You don't see that much. That is a beautiful color combination. Of course, there you go. That little tail right there, that's a little flouncy little tail, but that and the goldfish, that ought to catch something. Wow, this is a little micro thing. If you're into ice fishing, bluegill fishing, something like that, this little thing, man, you need almost size 10 hook. But that right there, I like that. It's like fishing with a tadpole. It's very small. More of the like the pinks, but it's done chartreuse. I like that. This right here is the belly of the goldfish, and that right there, that gold, that's interesting. Could you imagine that? Those two on a double rig fishing for some speckled perch. That right there is nice. Got some more of the pinks. Alright, so this right here is one of those shad patterns I was talking about. I would say that this is like Tennessee shad or Arkansas shad right here. More Tennessee shad is what I would say this is, if I had to guess. I don't know what he calls it, but I would say that's Tennessee shad. Ooh, I like these. These have definition. Preacher, you definitely have some interesting creatures. That right there, I could catch a bluegill all day long on that one. That's another one right there. I really like that. Another one of those little tadpoles. I really like these tadpole things. This one right here is an interesting color. So you took, looks like gold and black. And the thing is, the masters like Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, all those, when they took, actually it's silver, but when you take gold and black, you get kind of a greenish color. And in this case, he's got some sparkle glitter and everything else in it. So it makes the black not black, but almost like a bluish green color. It's really, really weird. I'm not saying I don't like it. I do. Got more bugs. I like these bugs. Like that. Let's get some more out. This is a nice silver, just a general silver. Again, those two right here. Put those two on a speck rig, you would definitely catch some speckled perches very easily. And see how it's almost like green color compared to that silver. Looks like you might have some white powder in there, some pearl or something other to make the silver more silver. I just love these. I love this. This bait right here, I love. Some more silvers. Again, we don't use a lot of these, but I do see a purpose in them. Oh, a little green bug. That's neat. Ooh. In a creek. Man. Especially in sunlight. That right there would catch some fish. Here's another one. So, what people don't realize is that bass and bluegill are in the same family, and they're in a type of section of fish that only exists really in Australia. So they're kind of unique to North America, and their eyesight changes. And so when they're bedding, which a bluegill beds roughly every month that the temperature of the water is about 70 degrees. They bed at the full moon. You put something orange or gold or something red or purple in front of a bluegill, their eyesight is set to actually see those colors better than anything else. And the hardest color for them to see is green, which is ironic because most bass baits, a lot of them want to use green. That's the color they can't see the best. But you get something when they're bedding that's in a orange or purple or red, you're going to kill the fish. So here's some blues right here. More tadpoles. That's what I call them. Ooh, speaking of tadpoles, my goodness, Billy. That right there is a tadpole. I don't know if you can see it, but good night. That, I don't even know if I have a hook small enough for this on. Man, that definitely would be something like for ice fishing or creek fishing for small bluegills. That is amazing. Got some more of these. Ooh. Now that right there, black with a chartreuse tail. That is just sexy. That's elegant. I like this, just an orange. Beautiful, just orange. This right here, he did kind of in that same Tennessee shad, Arkansas shad color. I think it's Tennessee shad. He can correct me. Now, this right here is interesting color. So, the base looks brown, but then it has purple and green sparkles to liven it up. And then when you get it in the light, it turns kind of purple, but when it gets dark, it looks brown. It's a color shift additive that they put into the baits. I'm just loving what he's doing with this. Some greens, another orange. Some more tadpole little things. These. I'm trying to get to the bottom because there's some neat stuff in the bottom too. So bear with me. That's an interesting color. Pearl with a little green. Neat color. You don't see a lot of these colors. This right here is kind of a goldfish, but has pink flake in it. Very interesting. And then there's ribbing here, so it's not dented. It's actually so it gives a different look. Very interesting bait there. Got some shad, different. Here's another interesting color. Got a little bit of purple. I think that, no, it just came off from another bait. No, it's got green flake in it. But it's got a lot of pearl and green and a little bit of blue coming back. Very almost seafoam color. Very neat. This is a neat one. Got kind of a goldish tail and green green pearl top. And what he did, you have to be very careful when you do this. He bonded the tails. Now, sometimes they will have molds that they have molds where you can just do the tails, but a lot of times what happens is you have to cut the tail. So you have to pour the bait, cut the tail, and then put it back in the mold, and then pour this part, and then hope that the two fuse. And that looks to me that's what happened. I may be wrong, but it looks to me that he had to actually bond these two, and he did a very good job. Fantastic job bonding those. This right here, watermelon red. It's green, which I never understood why they call it watermelon red when it's green, but it does have red flake and black flake in it. Very popular with bass anglers, but if you'll notice here, that paddle tail, it comes out straight and then round, so that gives you more action with that tail. I really do like that paddle tail design. That is a very neat paddle tail. I like that color. Here is a very simple silver with black speckled top. Love that paddle tail design. Here's some bugs they did. I don't know what he calls these bugs, but I love them. I absolutely love these things. They're kind of a foam green with some green flake in it. It's not really a foam green. It's darker. It's got murkier a little bit, but got the green flake in it. It's got some pearl looking stuff in it. Very, very neat. Love those. Now let's talk about something else. This right here. I am loving these, Billy. My goodness. This right here is a neat little bait. And what I love about it is the long tails that flap around. What happens is that a lot of times all these small little features on the baits, like this right here, you're not going to get much movement in the water with something like that. Even though they're small, you really don't get that much movement. And I can hold it and kind of shake it in the camera, and but once you get into water, it really doesn't react the same way. And so the longer it is, the more twitch you get. So I can see that being on a little speck rig for crappie, and that right there in the water just twitching a little bit, that would definitely get some crappie attention and get an aggressive bite. Now I think that's an interesting color, and I've got a darker green, so definitely there. Then this is something unique. So you got these right here. It's same basic design, but instead of this little ribbon tail here, you got more of a paddle tail. And sometimes that will do more in the water, depending on if you do like this, when you're shaking it, or going up and down with crappie. And the smaller the connection, the more movement it will have. So like fishing for crappie, I could see that right there being fantastic to fish with. Got some more of these. Alright, let's look at these. Now this right here is an old-timey grub design. This paddle tail grub is what they used to be marketed as. And you notice, look at the difference when I lay them over. Let's see if I can show you that. This doesn't lay over as much compared to this. So this design won out over the years. However, this right here has these little baffling things. And what happens is the water, when you're in the water with it, they grab the water, and this will cause that to go like nuts. So a lot of anglers, when they're looking at baits, they look at it and compare it to what it looks like, in the air, not in the water. And so a lot of the older designs have been discounted by anglers, but this is a fantastic bait. Along the same lines, you have this. So this is done kind of similar. It's more along the lines of these bug baits in a way. But so it's got the round part, and then as it goes through, then you got this flat tail. They've hollowed out a portion on top and bottom so that you get that movement. And when you bounce it, this right here catches water and kind of lifts that tail up. And when it does that and it comes back down, that flipping action, that's what attracts the crappie. And this done in a shad pattern. Again, I'm going to say this is Tennessee shad. Could be Arkansas shad, but I think it's Tennessee shad. Another one. This is one of those where I said he had to. I don't think that they made this where you could actually make the tails. He probably had to cut this by hand, so that meant he had to do a run of the blue, this blue here, and then cut all of them. Take the other blue and either reuse it or scrap them, and then take this black here and inject it. And he had to make sure his mold was absolutely perfect with the temperature so that the two would fuse. That right there is some skill. Nice little green right there, same thing. That paddle is nothing more than a flat piece going into a round piece, and so that catches air or catches water better than a lot of the other paddle designs that you see on the market. I like that. And he got me pearls. No. So this right here and this right here, what they're meant to do is mimic fish eggs. And I did a fishing video, Fish Around and Find Out, where I went to the creek property, the Magnolia Branch Reserve, and it's owned by the Porch Band of Creek Indians in Atmore, Alabama. And I was on their property fishing, and I was using real salmon eggs. I thought that they were fake, but they was real salmon eggs for catfish. Rachel bought me a can of them. So we are at the Porch Band of Creek Indians property at the Magnolia Branch Wildlife Preserve. So this basically is a investment property for the tribe. As you know, I'm Cherokee, they're Creek, and this is their tribal investment property where people can come, camp, enjoy wildlife, fish, do all that kind of good stuff. So I want to say to the Porch Creek Indians, Mado, which is Miccosukee Muskogee, sorry, wrong tribe, Muskogee, for thank you. And so we're going to see if we can't catch something here. So my friend Rachel, if you've ever watched channel, you know who that is. She's stationed in the military, and she went to see her friends and family in California and came back with salmon eggs. And so I'm going to start off fishing with salmon eggs and see what we can do here. I am on. I threw this out, didn't take but just a second or two, and I was on. And that's on the salmon eggs, just moving to a different location. There we go. First one of the day. Not even out here 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Whoa, now calm down. I'm fixing to put you. All right, let me take care of him, and then we'll be back and do some more fishing. But you can use these fake ones and do just as good. So he's got two different sizes. These are pink, and then the other is kind of a garnet color. Very pretty. I could see brim, anything like that, hitting these. And so any type of nest raiding fish, they would attack these very easily. Here's one of those that I really liked, that design, that little very tapered design of a traditional looking crappie bait, and it's got a belly insert, which I find to be interesting. So you can just put your little head right there and bounce it up. I love it, but what I really think is neat, and it's hard to get in here. I'll try to get in there where you can see it. See that long flake in there? You don't normally see that in a lot of baits. So That's what I love about these private bait makers, these small bait makers. They can add things to it you wouldn't normally get. In addition, you can see they can change the plastics. So this right here, I love this color combination, green and black. That is an old-timey color combination for bass anglers, crappie anglers. The little bit of green with the black is fantastic. But if you notice, it seems to me, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems to me that this right here is a different plastic than this. And so one of the things that the bait makers can do is they can change up the type of plastic. And so you could have something that's more floating and have something more durable for salt water. Like this right here, he did that for the crappie with that little bitty bit of green. I would love to see a video on that. Him making something like that, showing how he does that little bit of green, because that right there is sexy. But you got these right here, they seem to be softer. Like you can see right here a difference, and that black is bending over more. This is like a different plastic than this, even though it's the same mold. And so he's getting a different reaction. This is going to move 10 times more in the water than this, which is kind of staying up. All right, so you can change your plastics up and get a totally different action out of them. And a lot of bait makers, they tend to just stick to middle of the road rather than branching out and saying, I want mine to have tremendous actions. Some of them, they don't want their baits to come back as being not durable. I'd rather have to put on 10, 12, 30 baits that are this type that have more action to them. And yeah, because you get that much more action to it, you're going to get less durability over time than you would something like this. But if I can get a fish to hit every time I cast out, or every other time I cast out versus every 6, 7, 8 times I cast out with this, I'd rather change out a bait every time if I lose it, if I get that kind of hookup. So that's me personally. The other thing is that small-time bait makers, say small-time, small businesses, these hobbyist or boutique bait makers, look at that. Where are you going to find that in the store? Anything close to that. You can take that, put that on a little Ned rig, bounce that about. That right there in a stream. Look at that. You can take it, put it on a regular jig, bounce off the bottom. As it's falling, it's going to catch a lot of water. I only got one of these, but man, I love these. Very simple design. Super simple design, and if you take and pull off the legs and put just a jig head on that, you now got a magnificent crappie bait. Really, you don't even have to take the legs off. But if you want to look more like a minnow or something other, and that right there would definitely catch some water. Neat bait. I like that. No, I got two of them. I got two of these, so got two of them. Along the same line, look, it's just a pill is all it is. Just a smaller pill. But what they did is they took a pill and they made a little tail. Now when you're flipping that, and I would rig it this way, I would rig it with the the flat side to catch water. You put a little jig head there and you run that. I got 2 of those as well. So those right there would catch crappie all day long. Again, got these right here. The blue and the green like that is called mermaid. So even though you didn't do it that way, I'd probably hook them up on a double, what we call a spec rig here in Florida, and toss them out and use them to catch some speckled perch. So that's my haul. I am very tickled. Amazed that all this came into one bag. So, I mean, he really did give us a lot. I'm just absolutely impressed. Very thankful for Billy for what he did. This is magnificent. I wish I had some more of these. I don't have a hook small enough for them, but they're cute. That is so cute. That would catch a catch a brim in a heartbeat. Hadn't seen these since I was a little child. I love these. Billy, this has got to be your next color build. Billy, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is Tennessee shad that he's doing. Maybe Arkansas shad or hickory shad. Let me know. So here's our haul. Let's start off with the flukes. We got 6 in each bag here. So the got passion shad, 6 in each bag, 5-inch fluke style bait. Got 1, 2, and then this right here is the second time that he was trying to change color, so these 2 are going to be the same. This will be different. We got 2-inch crappie crusher, 20 of them, the second run. You can see the difference there between that. It's a little darker purple. Got 10 of the tracer shads, and they're 2.5-inch tracer shads. That's second run. You got first runs, and again you can see the difference between the second one and first run, a little lighter. I actually like the first run a little bit better on this one. This is closer to true, just a little darker top, and that would be closer. But we got first run this tracer or crappie crusher 20, 2-inch crappie crusher. Got 2.5-inch tracer shad, 10 of them first run. That's pretty bait. That's just absolute pretty bait. And that lavender comes through really good. I like that. That's pretty. Crappie crushers, same way, pretty. All of them are pretty. Then we got the third runs here. So we got this right here, got 20 of the 2-inch crappie crusher. Got 2.5-inch tracer shads, you got 10 of those. And then he threw in some caddis fly, 2.2-inch, and get 12 of them. And then we got the sample packet, which has God knows how many. Alright, so tell me guys, what if I did a giveaway? What would you like to see? Would you would you want me to do a bunch of small giveaways and give away a packet of now this right here is the seconds. I'll keep that for myself, so I'll give away a packet of these right here separately. This is the first run, so I've got first run of this tracer shad, this crappie crusher. I could do first run, second run, maybe, and do a packet like that. You know, I could take, because this is the second here, I could take this right here and do the 3 like that as a giveaway. Or I could take the packages and do separate and have 3 giveaways, have 3 winners. And then I could do this and just give this away. And then I could also include this or do this separate. So what I'm trying to figure out, I don't need all these. And I really think that Billy Preacher, that he kind of wanted me to, he didn't outright say it, but I kind of got the impression that he would like for me to pass these along to some people that would appreciate them. And this is definitely more than what I asked for. I think that we need to pass it along to the viewers. So tell me in the comment section how you want this contest run. Do you want just flukes? Do you want just crappie crushers? Do you want to have a contest where you can say, okay, I'm just going for flukes, I'm just going for tracer shads, I'm just going for crappie crushers, I'm just going for caddisflies, I'm just going for the sample packet? Do you want to have it where you get a combo and say, okay, I want to do a combo of the fluke, tracer shad, and crappie crusher? Do you want to do that? Tell me, give me an idea of what you're thinking, what you think would be fair, what you think would be fun. Put that in this description. And I'll take all your comments, I'll talk with Billy, and we'll come up with a contest. And it won't be that hard. But I think that I need to think about this and figure something out. And then we'll work together on it. Billy and I will. So that we have a fair contest going. I do want you to please go over to Preacher's Creatures. I'll have his channel and the channel in the description. Go check him out. He just reached over 500 subscribers on YouTube. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time to be monetized. So he's doing this all out of his own pocket, out of the kindness of his heart. He's not monetized yet. He needs to get monetized. So I'm telling all my subscribers that watch my fishing stuff, go check him out. Hit that subscribe button for him. Tell him that Ken sent you. That I think that would mean a lot to him. That you showed him some support. I'm not as big as some of the other channels that have been pushing him, but I have some of the best viewers on YouTube. So if you would please, please, please go support him, I would appreciate that. And then put in the comments, you know, if you want these baits, how you want to run this contest, and I will take into consideration your thoughts. I'll talk with Billy and we'll come up with something. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. All that really does help out. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit hype. This helps out a lot. And I will see you again next time. Bye.